Amidst the diversity of religious beliefs and practices, we find stories that defy convention. Places where faith manifests itself in unexpected ways, where traditions are revisited and new paths are forged. But here in this house, our way of expressing that generosity takes a slightly different path. Here, tithing, as traditionally understood, is not the practice we encourage. And so, as a community of faith, we are called to give, to be generous with one another, and with the work God has entrusted to us. Brothers and sisters, we want to reaffirm our stance on the support of our church. In keeping with the principles we believe in, here we do not request, and in fact discourage the practice of tithing as it is commonly taught. Our understanding is that generosity flows from a grateful heart and manifests itself in many ways. Where does the shine that keeps it alight, even in the apparent financial darkness, come from? In the New Testament, we see a call to radical generosity, to give joyfully and from the heart, without imposing a fixed percentage. But we believe that giving should be the fruit of a grateful and voluntary heart, directed toward the specific needs of the church and community, and not an inflexible rule. We believe that the focus should be on loving one another and meeting the needs of the faith community in ways that go beyond a financial obligation. But the way they explain generosity, the focus on helping each other, made a lot of sense to me. This exchange, this sharing, is much more meaningful to me than simply giving a value. In a religious landscape where tithing is often presented as a fundamental commandment, a community emerges with a radically different perspective. There are solid arguments for both perspectives, both for the mandatory and voluntary nature of the contribution. Volunteer work becomes a valuable currency. Individual talents are put to the service of the community, and generosity is expressed in concrete actions. Different biblical interpretations and historical contexts shape the financial practices of different denominations. We will soon see some testimonials from church members about their contributions. A church where giving back 10% is not encouraged, rather avoided. I feel that I am contributing in a way that really makes a difference. It is a system that, for us, works and is based on Scripture. Its sustainability seems to be rooted in a sense of belonging and in the mobilization of its members' resources in different ways. Tradition and consolidated biblical interpretation have shaped this practice over time. How does a church survive and thrive without this source of funding so deeply rooted in Christian tradition? What are the pillars that sustain this unique community? Next, we will listen to some individual interviews with church members in different settings, at home, around the church, in a cafe. And many choose to get directly involved in the church's actions. Leader of another church. It's a different approach. It's not the one we follow, but I believe that each community has the right to seek the path that it considers most faithful to its principles. A light that emanates from genuine faith, spontaneous generosity and community engagement. A demonstration that the sustenance of a work of faith can find different paths, as long as love and unity are its true pillars. Generosity, unrelated to a fixed financial obligation, seems to find even broader ways to manifest itself. A reminder that faith expresses itself in countless ways, and that the glimmer of hope can emerge even in the most unexpected places. The issue of tithing is just one facet of a much larger conversation about the meaning of generosity and the essence of faith community. Here is an important testimony from a member involved in a social project. Member 1. When I first came here and heard about tithing, I confess I was a little confused. It was something so present in my previous experience. But I saw so many people contributing their time, their talents, offering help in other ways. You feel like everyone is in this together. Member 3. It lifted a weight for me. I felt a lot of pressure in other churches. Here, giving is more free, more from the heart. And we see that things happen. Projects are accomplished. Member 2. At first I was worried. I thought, how is the church going to sustain itself? Our understanding of Scripture leads us to believe that the practice of tithing, as it is widely taught today, has specific roots in the Old Testament, linked to a Levitical system and an agrarian economy. We are not saying that giving financially is not important, quite the opposite. Far from relying on tithing, the church has found other creative and engaging ways to support its activities. Member 4. I am an electrician, and instead of giving a fixed amount, I offer my time and skills to help with the maintenance of the church. Member 5. Many times, people bring food, clothes, the best they have to share with those in need. To complete the opinions on the subject, we also asked some theologians and religious scholars to give an interview in academic environments such as libraries and classrooms. Theologian 1. The issue of tithing is complex and has been interpreted in different ways throughout the history of Christianity. Theologian 2. It is interesting to note how some communities seek to return to a broader understanding of generosity. As we see in the first accounts of the early church, where sharing of goods was a common practice, the debate over tithing transcends the walls of this specific church, echoing theological discussions that have lasted centuries. Interviews with leaders of traditional churches, explaining the importance of tithing for their institutions, are also necessary to complete our framework of discussions. We will see their testimonies below. Traditional Church Leader 1. Tithing is a clear biblical principle, a way to honor God with the first part of our income and to ensure that the work of the church can continue. Traditional Church Leader 2. Through tithing, we can maintain our temples, pay our pastors, carry out social works and missions. In many churches, tithing continues to be a fundamental pillar of their sustainability and an act of faith and obedience. Despite defying the norm, the church where tithing is prohibited demonstrates vitality and capacity for growth. Show the church involved in voluntary social projects, serving meals, tutoring children, supporting needy families, environmental preservation initiatives, etc. Since there's no pressure to tithe, people feel freer to direct their generosity to where they really feel they can make a difference. The shine of this community radiates beyond its walls, reaching those who need support and transforming the reality around them. We can include short excerpts from interviews with people from other churches or the community in general, expressing their opinions on this unusual practice. Outside Person 1. I thought it was strange at first, but seeing the work they do, the unity of the community, I started to rethink some things. The church's stance generates curiosity, debate, and in some cases, even inspiration in other religious communities, showing that different models of faith and sustainability are possible. The shine and the darkness of this church does not lie in the lack of resources, but in the way it mobilizes them. In a world where religious practices are often viewed through a traditional lens, the story of this church invites us to question, reflect, and open our minds to new possibilities.